Hello and welcome. I'm Luna,
And I'm Nick.
and we are the Nomad Citello live from Venice in Italy, here to help you plan your trip to Venice in November. So, we are here, as I said. So, if you see us around town, please say hi. We love to see you around the town. And let's jump into today's topics. Uh, of course, if you have any questions, just write them in the chat. We will do our best to answer as many as we can. And if you have other questions, just drop them in the comments, and we're always monitoring the comments to answer all of your questions.
And if you're watching this after we've been live, it's still available on YouTube after the live. You can still ask questions and we'll still respond to them.
Absolutely. So let's see what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about the pickpockets, which have been in the news quite a bit, November festivities, because there are a couple that are coming up, other events, and then we will take your questions. So, pickpockets. Here you can see a screenshot of a video that has gone viral on TikTok and social media of a tourist grabbing a pickpocket by her hair to wait for the police because she had just been robbed. Well, so gangs of pickpockets have been operating all over Italy. So it's not a problem only in Venice, it's a problem around Europe, actually. And there have been many viral videos of different techniques that tourists and residents use to stop these pickpockets. First of all, don't put yourself in harm's way because trying to stop these people is dangerous for you because you could be accused of assault, of false imprisonment. There are tourists that have been dealing with legal issues because of this. So don't put yourself in harm's way. It's not worth it because anyway, these pickpockets are usually too young to be persecuted. So even if the police arrives, you risk being in danger. They don't risk anything most of the time. While stopping them is not the ideal solution, then there are other solutions you can use. For example, using secret wallets that go below your your clothes, using, now that it's colder, the front pockets of your jacket, or other hidden pockets on your jackets, using air tags or other devices that can track where your valuables are at all times. Also, don't necessarily carry valuables with you when you leave the hotel or the accommodation, if that's an option, of course, because really, I don't think there are any situations almost where you have to show your passport, for example, around Venice.
When you're checking into your hotel,
Yeah, of course,
but not
but
for tourist attractions.
yeah, or not even to buy alcohol most of the times. You're not required to show an ID. So if you feel safe enough to leave it at the hotel, it's better to leave it at your accommodation for sure. And you can also try and be creative. For example, in my case, I was pickpocketed 3 times in a row when I was in Madrid. The first time was kind of a surprise, but then it was kind of intentional on my part because I was carrying a backpack that had nothing valuable in it. So I just wondered, well, if they want to waste time opening and finding masks or tissues or other things that are not valuable to me, well, I'll waste their time. So be my guest and open my backpack. And I'm sure on the internet you can find all sorts of, I don't know, glitter bombs or alarms that go off as soon as someone opens your backpack. So I don't know, look into some creative options to make them waste their time and be annoyed rather than assaulting them, which is the dangerous solution.
And remember, pickpockets look for opportunities, they don't look for challenges. I see far too many people with wallets and phones in back pockets. I see far too many people with backpacks, even with backpacks where the zipper is partially open on their backpack.
Yeah,
Don't put yourself in that situation. If you make it just a little bit harder for them to find what they're looking for, you're less of a target. And I also strongly recommend when you're in a crowded city like Venice, try to make yourself aware of who's around you. This helps you avoid pickpockets and it helps you from being in the way of people who are trying to pass you on the street. Just try to be a little bit more aware of who's in front of you, who's behind you, who's around you.
absolutely. All right, now let's move on to the November festivities that are coming up. So, Halloween is not actually an Italian celebration, it is celebrated, but the big celebration is November 1st and 2nd, the days immediately after Halloween, which happen to be a weekend this year. All Saints' Day is November 1st, All Souls' Day is November 2nd. Which means that everybody's going to be on a national holiday in Italy, so expect more crowds in Venice than usual. And cemeteries and churches will be especially crowded because of the religious mass and the visit to the cemeteries that happen on November 2nd in particular. Then on November 21st, it's the celebration of the Madonna della Salute. It's the one of the two patron saints of Venice. And this in the picture you see here is the Basilica of Madonna della Salute in Venice. There's another church of Madonna della Salute in Mestre. Both of them will be literally assaulted by crowds the day of November 21st and also the days before and after, actually. It's a public holiday in Venice, so again, schools and workplaces are closed, so there will be more crowds. And around the area of the Basilica della Salute, which you can see here on the map, you see if here we have the Piazza San Marco, it's the church right across from the canal at the Dogana. So in this area, there will be a street fair with street food and uh, food stands. And it's just a nice atmosphere to walk around the area. And there's also a traditional boat that serves traditional food just behind the basilica. So it's just a lovely atmosphere to enjoy a traditional festivity here in Venice.
So in previous months, we talked about the Redentore Festival.
Mhm.
We talked about for Redentore, you have to have a reservation. There's certain areas that are off limits, but that's not really the case for
No,
Salute. You can go to that area, you can explore.
yeah,
You don't have to reserve a table at a restaurant
no, exactly. But be prepared, of course, for
for a
huge
crowd.
crowds. Yeah, especially trying to go into the church because there are, I think there are mass services like every hour the whole day that day. So it's very popular.
And I think you took me to Salute Festival before.
Yeah.
Lots of great street vendors. We had the ciambale, the Italian version of a donut. Lots of great food like that.
Mhm.
You can eat festival type food.
Yeah.
Can you go back to the map for a moment?
Yes.
Now, Luna mentioned that Salute is that point just on the other side of the basin or the other side of the canal from Piazza San Marco. Of course, you're going to see Piazza San Marco when you're in Venice. But of course, there's not really a direct path to Salute. If you
Mhm.
zoom out just a little bit, I think that in all of your tourist maps and as you're touring around, you're going to encounter the Accademia Bridge,
Mhm.
which is one of the most popular places to take photos across the Grand Canal.
Mhm.
So it is a bit of a walk, but from San Marco, you'll go through San Marco and work your way toward the Accademia Bridge. And just on the other side of the Accademia Bridge is this area where you
Mhm.
can access the point of Salute.
Exactly. Or, of course, you can take the
The Vaporetto.
Vaporetto. Yeah.
And by the way, both Ellen and Julie have said hello.
Hi,
If you have any specific questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. We see you there. Glad you're here
welcome.
with us live.
All right. So let's look at other events that you can enjoy in November. There are quite a few actually. So November 8th at the Fenice Theater, the historic theater in Venice, there will be a concert of the Venice Jazz Festival with the Akan Basar Trio. Ticket starts at 30 euros. You can find the link in the description of the video. The next day, November 9th, at the Malibran Theater, which is another historical theater in Venice, there will be a celebration for the 25 years of Vinicio Capossella's career. Vinicio Capossela is a very popular folk and blues artist that has produced music for at least 25 years. So it will be a great celebration, and you can find the link for the tickets in the description of the video. Then November 9th and 10th, at the cruise terminal in Tronchetto, there will be the Back to the Wine Festival with a lot of wine from all over Italy, a lot of tastings and events connected to wine and beer. And you can buy your ticket for 25 euros. You can find the link again in the description. Then again, November 22nd at the Malibran Theater again, there will be a concert homage to Ennio Morricone, which is the author, the producer of some of the best soundtracks of Western movies, but also classic Hollywood movies. So
I think you would say composer, producer.
composer and producer, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And again, you will find the link for the tickets in the description. And then I would recommend checking out the area of downtown Mestre in general, especially if you're staying in Mestre, because there is a hidden gem, which is the Laurentianum, uh, which you can see in these photos is just by the main church in the main square in Mestre, in Piazza Ferretto. And you can see this red carpet directing you to the Laurentianum because it's a free exhibition space where they have constant exhibitions of local artists depicting Venice. Usually it's watercolor paintings. It's very interesting also the building itself. So if you are in Mestre, why not? Check it out.
Now, one other thing you mentioned to me that you saw, there is, and I don't know if it's something everybody's interested in seeing in Venice, but there's an ongoing Leonardo da Vinci exhibit
Yeah,
in the Church of San Barnaba.
it
But
used to be. Yeah.
but you said you saw it in a different location. We
Yes,
don't know yet because we haven't checked San Barnaba. It may be a second location or maybe it's moved. If
exactly.
you're excited to go to that exhibit at San Barnaba, you might want to check into it and see if it's a second location or if it's moved
Exactly.
entirely.
I was trying to find my bearing
And
here.
it's a
Yes,
fun exhibit. They take
here.
many of Da Vinci's sketches and build models of what those things might have looked like had they actually been built.
Exactly. So where I saw it last time I was around there was near the Scuola Grande di San Rocco, actually opposite the Scuola Grande, just behind the Basilica dei Frari. So just to give you an area.
And there's a square there. I'm sure there's signs. It's pretty
Exactly.
clear.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So it's in this area of the city, more towards the university area of the city. Yeah.
Now, before you leave the map, we have a question
Yes.
from Ellen. Let's go
Yes.
back to Salute.
Yes. Let's go.
She's asking about the bridge, the temporary bridge that goes up across the Grand Canal at Salute. But that's for
To the
Redentore. Or is it for
Are
this?
you meaning today or for Salute? Because today, as we speak, there was the Venice Marathon
Right. But I don't think that's what she's asking.
and there was a temporary bridge from Salute to San Marco. Uh,
But is there a temporary bridge for this festival, the Salute Festival, or is that just Redentore?
I'm not sure, but it doesn't sound impossible. There might be a temporary bridge. We just love to make temporary bridges for every celebration, as you can see. Um, but there definitely is for the Redentore, but you can also see why, because the Giudecca Island is way farther and there are no bridges normally. So I don't know. I don't know if there's a temporary bridge for the Salute. I will check it out and add it to the comments of the video uh, if I find out the final answer for that.
Okay, great.
Thank you for that. Okay, let's see other questions that uh, we had, or better, other observations that I had flying here. So be warned, because I was shocked to hear the announcement on the plane when I boarded my flight. On long flights from the US, some airlines do not allow power banks, meaning they don't allow to use them, they don't allow to charge them. So for me, it was a complete shock because I rely heavily on
Hmm.
power banks on long flights. So beware of that and charge your power banks before you get on the flight.
Now, we flew separately,
Mhm.
and I did not have that restriction.
For it,
So it's
yeah,
not every flight, and we don't quite know why or which airlines are doing it.
yeah,
Be prepared.
I flew KLM, and so I guess the Air France KLM group probably has implemented this policy at the moment.
Yeah.
Do we have more questions?
No, Ellen seems confident that she saw a temporary bridge during this festival. So, uh,
Probably, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, as I said, that's a quite a common tradition for us to build temporary bridges. The other thing that is changing and that will be implemented gradually in all of the European Union and in Italy as well is that there are new biometric rules for extra EU visitors, which means in the near future you will not get the stamp on your passport anymore. Sorry to say that. But you will get fingerprinted and you will get your picture taken, and that will replace the ID check and the stamp on the passport. So this is something that is very common for us Europeans when we visit the US, but it was different for US visitors to and extra EU visitors to Italy. But now they are going to adhere to the international standards with that.
Yeah, things are changing.
Oh, yes.
We have a fun question from Jorge, who's coming from Peru in a few
Okay.
weeks.
Hola.
Generally interested in what the weather is like this time of year, and specifically asked about the Aqua Alta, which we saw today.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's certainly possible you may see the Aqua Alta, but there's
Yes.
variables.
There are. Well, the weather in general is getting a little cooler. It's not as cold as other years, but we have an average of 15 degrees Celsius. Don't ask me the conversion in Fahrenheit, please. Um,
There are real seasons here. There is a real
yes,
winter.
yeah,
You could
exactly.
have a jacket.
And it was kind of cloudy the past few days. It was pouring rain at least a couple of days. So yeah, expect high levels of humidity and possible rain showers when you're here. As for the Aqua Alta, yes, we are in the Aqua Alta season. If you see our last month video, we were just talking about that.
Aqua Alta is the high water for those
Yeah,
who don't know. People talk about Venice flooding. Sometimes the water does come up and makes it
yeah.
difficult to walk through the city in parts, not
Mhm.
everywhere in the city.
Exactly. And there is a system in place that is called the Mose, which are artificial dams that can be lifted if the levels are forecasted to be particularly high. Uh, Problem is when there are not forecasts that say that the level will be above a certain level of centimeters, the barriers are not lifted because it's very expensive. And so today was one of those days. So the marathon runners had to dip their shoes in the water for part of Piazza San Marco. So you have to keep in mind Piazza San Marco is one, if not the lowest uh, point of the city. So if it's going to be flooded, Piazza San Marco is going down for sure, but it's not that dramatic. It was a few centimeters high
And
in certain areas of the piazza, not even all the piazza.
And to be clear, they laid out the race format so that the racers, I think, only had one, maybe two spots
Yeah,
that were obstructed, where all of the people there to watch the race had to avoid the water.
exactly.
If you go to San Marco during Aqua Alta, if you have boots that come up a few inches on your leg, then you can step through the water.
Yeah.
If you have normal low top shoes, your feet will get wet, or
Mhm.
of course, you just avoid those spots. There has, I think one day when I went out to San Marco and when I came back, the tide had come up and it sort of closed off the route I had planned to go back. And then you just have to be creative, you have to explore, and you'll find a way
Mhm.
around. So it's not that the whole city is sinking, but there will be spots where, oh, I can't go down this path because I
Exactly.
would be walking through water.
And it's a good idea if you want to always carry a couple of garbage bags with you. And just pop it on your shoes and
And we do not recommend, some people might say, I don't mind getting wet. I'll walk through the water. This water is not clean. It can come up through the drainage system.
it
So
does.
it can make you sick.
Mhm.
You do not want to walk through that
Yes,
water.
exactly. And another kind of problem that we have is that sometimes there are um, walkways, like elevated walkways, that help people walk above the water. But if the forecast doesn't come early enough in the morning, the workers that lay those down are already assigned to other tasks and they won't be laid down. So if the water comes up at, I don't know, 10, 11 a.m., then there are no walkways, unfortunately. So that's
And with that said, I think Aqua Alta, it ranges from a mild nuisance to tourists to a fun thing to see for tourists. It can be very damaging to people who live there or run a business, so be respectful of that. But I don't think it's going to spoil your
yeah,
trip. You'll be
absolutely.
able to avoid it. You won't get stranded. Be
And
careful when,
get great pictures, by the way.
yeah, and be careful when you're walking near the edge of a canal. It may be hard to see where the canal starts and the pavement ends if the water is above the pavement.
Mhm.
So be very careful about that.
And in general, if it's raining pretty hard, then it's almost a guarantee that there will be areas of acqua alta just because the drain system doesn't hold all the rainwater and it floods a little bit. Okay, do we
Thanks.
have other
No,
questions?
no, thank you for that question, Jorge.
Yeah, and welcome to the city. All right, so if you have any other questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments. As I said, we are constantly monitoring the comment section. Enjoy your trip to Venice and buon viaggio!
See you next month.